She's all the friend we ever need. She's all the friend we ever need.
Oh, well, this helps.
Lending each other a helping hand until the dawn shines bright. Our tractors humming across the land as we gather all the ribbons we can.
Oh, I can hit enter. That helps, right, guys? Oh. I can't remember what I'm saying. Okay. Shouldn't. Okay. Well, it's doing some weird stuff, but I don't know why is it doing that. My farm's up here. Private, yeah, that works. Go back. Go up here. What farm do I want to go to first? I gotta go to my third farm. Somewhere. 3. Okay. 3. It's still doing that stupid thing. Yeah, buttons were pushed. You weren't kidding. Can you hear me okay? Because I hope I didn't screw up. I love my peoples. You know what I'm saying? I love my peoples. Looks like it's doing something. Hold on a minute. It just doesn't like me today for some reason. Okay, go here. And over. Okay, now I'm working, I think. I sound, you know what it is? I'd be willing to bet it was because how I switched it. It's very possible. Ah, come on. You know, it's just one of those days today. Must be. I sound distant, yeah. So far away. Okay, so what do I get in here? Anything good? No. But, I wish I'd asked Fran how many farms she had open. Especially where if she just has the one, and especially now we got the new stuff, and our farms are bigger. Our workers can go bigger areas. But Fran was very lovely. She, you know, she wanted a few tips. So, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of a, what has helped me. Because she's like, well, because she noticed, and let me tell you something, those diamonds and things can go really quick if you let them. I think my problem was metals. That was my problem, was the metals for sure. Yeah. But let me see, let me go to 2. I'm always checking 2 because 2 is like, it's in a sense, 2 is basically my main farm, whereas my first farm is my event farm. That's how I created it. But Fran just wanted a few tips on, like what would help her to generate, diamonds as well as the ribbons and, things like that. And what does help seriously, um, let me just go and, oops, let me just go into town real quick and I'll show you something. See, because I do catch a lot of people doing this and it's like, don't be afraid. You can do this. Um, but, oh, light up mining rocks separate? What? Wait a minute. Oh, yes. Okay, I get what you're saying. I try to do everything the cheap way. I really do. I mean, I do. Um, because I mean, I don't know. It's just me. But see, people, here's your quest bazaar, right? And like, if you see, all my stuff is full again for the umpteenth time, which is a daily thing, and that's why, friend, if you're watching this, just to let you know that um, if you get workers on, I mean, basically, it comes down to wait a minute, 1, 2, 3. It comes down to 5 trees, and then you can kind of increase it, and I'll show you that. Huh? Okay. Um, and the thing about that is it helps your machines, your factories. Oh, I am not doing that. It does help your machines in your factories, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. But and again, it depends on how many factories you put up. Don't go overboard and crazy because you may not be generating enough to feed them, and that's I admit I did it. I think everybody did it, at some point, and they probably still do it, because I forget my friend's name, but I remember I was helping somebody on their farm, and they had literally a ton of machines. And the first words out of my mouth was, "Why do you have so many machines?" And this was when they, their farm was probably under 200, but they had way too many machines and not enough supply. You know what I'm saying? So that's always a big problem. Um, so I go that route. Now, what am I going to sell first? Ooh, I can do. See, this is another thing. I did a stupid mistake a long time ago there. What I did was basically I bought these melon trees or whatever you want to call them, and I put them up there, not thinking how fast that they would have leveled up as far as prestige. And I will bring that to people's attention because a few people have asked me about prestige. What does it mean? What do you do? And stuff like that. Basically, prestige is this, okay? Let's just say, if I know I have them plenty. Ooh, okay. Let's just say, hypothetically, I did my corn. Realistically, like in the real world of when you're playing, you kind of go over all your stuff. Like these are all your crops and things. But really, it's kind of like you kind of have to decide what works for you. But to be very honest with you, um, I generally did my corn. I definitely did tomatoes. I did my corn. I did my tomatoes, specific ones, cherry tomatoes, because they're 4 seasons. I'm still working diligently on my grapes, as you can see. And it takes some time, and it takes time. Because I remember Ace was saying, and I don't remember which one's the summer one. Is Concord summer? No, that's fall. That's the spring one. Cabernet is winter. So it has to be Concord grapes, has to be summer. Okay. And I think that's because it's the least amount of time. But you know what? It's like I started doing it, then I fell off the bandwagon and stopped doing it. And corn, I will tell you right now, it does take a while for it to level up. And basically, when you are, like let's say for example, because corn is fast when it comes to getting them watered, so you might be better off going that route, and especially now with the zebras and the coming. Um, so with the corn coming out, or wheat, for example. Um, it's a crop that's kind of slow, but what I ended up doing was I put them on my corn. And see, and that's the thing too, is because I mean, now you've got 24 by 24. But I put my workers on my corn. I did, I could have sworn I did them on potatoes, but I think that was on my other farm I did. But anyways, I did it on my corn, my potatoes, and there was one other one. Oh, this one here, the French bean. I will tell you right now, don't do this one. It's horrible. Let me see. Where is it? It's slow as molasses. And that's the other thing, guys. You gotta really pay attention. Like you see this lime tree? I will never prestige it. Nope, it takes forever. Um, but again, when you're prestiging anything, okay, you gotta really weigh the pros and cons. Like, let's go back to my second farm, okay, just so you can get a heads up on it. Um, See, like this is wheat, obviously. Um, but when I go up here, these are my grapes, which will be okay, so that's fine. These tomatoes, and this is where like the yeah. Wait a minute, I don't want to get the two confused. Okay, yeah. Okay, so for example, I'm just gonna go do a little bit of it here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. See now, like I get, and you can see it on my menu. So, like on my corn, for example, I can get two corn for now because it's prestige at 5. If I was to get it to P10, prestige 10, then you get 3. But on top of that, you use your boost to get to get more corn. Okay, and the thing is, I don't do this. Like I don't care what this corn gives me for gold. I honestly don't, because you don't get a whole big bunch. But the thing I do like about it is the fact that it's fast. It's See, I'll show you. Um, okay, watered, it's 14 minutes. But if it's not watered, it's going to be 30 minutes. But still, it's 15 minutes. Okay, unlike lettuce, we know that takes less than 5, but that's okay. My point being is, um, because a lot of people now are going for donkey farms and things like that. And, that's for the horseshoes, which is the ribbons and things like that. I've been accumulating these ribbons for a very long time. Um, and the reason I have, and I only have my 3 farms up, and I try to say I'd rather just say I have 2 farms, because technically on my first farm, it's just a dedicated event farm, so I don't do anything else with it. Um, yeah, yeah, it does. I mean, and that's the thing. So, I would suggest and recommend. I mean, it's like I said, guys. It's totally up to you. Um, Up top here, these are all my workers on the trees.
Hello, Moto.
Okay, so up here on my tree. Oops, excuse me. Up here on my trees, these are the trees that I don't really need to focus on a great deal, because it's on my second farm. But my workers are up there doing their thing, and the wonderful thing about it is they're leveling up all those trees. I purposely put all my pineapple trees in one area, and it fits perfect, because you do get a lot of pineapple type trees. So it works perfect for me. It works out. But that is one of the biggest things. I mean, if you can afford to, let's say, get workers to do your corn and potatoes, like, see, there's your top 4 food groups, with the exception of lettuce, because that is a food group. Um, if you feel funny about putting lettuce down because it's a quick thing, You know what? I did it the old-fashioned way before we did the lettuce thing. But you can always use bamboo trees because they work just as well. Now, see, um, every single day and all day when I log on, oh yeah, my spice gets filled up pretty fast because uh, I will go to my I will go to my first farm and I'll show you what the scoop is with that. Because okay, and like I said, I don't know how many workers you guys have, but this is how it is. Um, Straight across the board, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? Now, here's the deal. These first two sections right here, these people are doing my spice trees and the pears. If you notice, they're pears and lemons and apples. And then again, this is the spice. It's just, I could care less about it because the main spice trees that I do are the Ceylon and the Cassia trees. Those are the only two trees. And actually now they're finally level 10. Yay me. But the beauty about this is that, it generates ribbons for me all the time. And since we have the new apothecary, you can also get diamonds from them. But you know what? I've been getting ribbons from the restaurant since like day one. And then I kind of work my way down to okay. Now here's the other thing. If I were to go, I can't do it here. And see, like what I think I will do eventually. Oops, get down here. Because I know that lettuce is not going to be a big thing. What I could do is here, see, I could simply do, like corn, okay? Right here, okay? Just corn. Go down here, take this out, boom, right? So now I'm going to copy, okay? Why does it say? Oh, because it is, okay. So I'm going to make a copy, right? So, like, what I'm doing now is what I could do now is I go to all my signs, okay, and at my leisure, which is too many Fridays, and I just hit Y, and see, it's that simple, and I know how far up it goes, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, hello, Moto. Guys, just give me a second. Can I call you back? Hello? Can I call you back?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Can I call you back or something up?
As soon as you can call me back. Really.
Okay, I'll call you back.
I have a cute little dog here that I'll pick up for you. I sent you a thing on it,
Okay.
Oh man, but he's blind.
Aw.
But he's cute as a button. But I need to know now because I'm leaving soon.
All right, well, let me call you right back.
All right.
All right, bye. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, so now I'm gonna, like what I'm doing now is obviously, because like I said, I'm gonna change this to corn, and I do know that I have over 5,000 spots here for lettuce, okay? And by the way, it's a little teeny bit slower because it's corn, but you can still get favor if you decide to do the corn. If you don't. It's not a big thing. But see, this whole area from like roughly here down, that's all my lettuce for 5,000. These here will never change, okay, because that's my herbs area. And then obviously when the event starts, by the way, Ace is offering his services and I will happily, gladly take them. Because, we'll be putting down the kitten not cat. We will be putting down the kitten Tinkerbells. I'm just giving you all a heads up on that. And then up here will be my zebras. And I think it's 12,000 or more. I think it's going to be over 12,000. I'm not exactly sure, but I know I'm going to have plenty. Yeah, bring your full chicken crew. I like them chicken crews, man. They just go to town. But I just thought I'd tell you that, guys. Is that if you come to my farm and you see there's got to be corn over there. But yeah, I get it if you guys want to do the event. I mean, who doesn't, right? But I mean, that's why I figured, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put the corn over here because nobody really has touched my lettuce farm. Not that I care. I mean, I won't touch it either. I mean, unless I really need some lettuce. But there's that. And I don't have my farm fully open down here at all because I'm really undecided what I want to do. And at least this farm will look halfway decent compared to my other two farms because my other two farms, I mean, because like I said, I do know that people are going with the donkeys, and there was something else that they were doing, corn, of course. But you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I won't. No, because as they, that expression, if it works for you, leave it alone. Don't fix it if it ain't broken. Because I do see people trying different things. I do have people saying, "Well, I'm going to put all donkeys on my farm." Good for you. Now, I did hear someone say, "Yeah, but if they don't use Boost, I'm going to boot them." You know what? I'm not going to use Boost because here's the thing. If you look up and you see that I have 585 over 201, I'm sorry, and it's not to be mean, cruel, or rude. It's just that, I don't want to use my 585 on another farm right now for Boost because I don't need it. You know what I'm saying, guys? I don't need it. I'd prefer to go to a farm just to go and maybe get some XP or something, but I don't want to waste my favor to do that, to go to some stranger's farm and do that. Unless it's somebody that I know. And here we go. Here's the dilemma that I have. I could probably maybe use it once, but because the thing is, I don't want to lose all my favor. I mean, I actually from the last event had it up to almost about 1,000. So I don't want people to be offended just because, if I don't use my favor on your farm, it's not because I don't want to. It's just that my favor exceeds what you're supposed to have. And like I said, I got this accumulating it through past events. So that's how I got mine. And that's, that's fine, It's like, that's where it is. Now see, I want to show you a little something about these pear and apple trees. Let me show you something. And lemons. And again, I don't have a lot of machines on my farm, by the way, at my level. Ooh, my little fish are ready. Okay. Okay. Now, what I want to kind of show you is this. Oh, no, I don't want to show you that. No. Okay. What I want to show you is, I'm going to go here for a moment, and it's just separated like, okay. For example, when you look at your pear trees, again, mine are prestige at 10. And trust you me, I know it can be a little costly, but you don't need to do high-end, fruits and things like that, fruit trees. You can, like the low end, your pear tree is a low end, your plum is, and so isn't the quince tree. So basically what I do have up there is, I have all these trees. Why am I not seeing how many I have? Oh, I know why. Okay, I get it. See, if I don't have it set on stats on, there we go. Okay. What I do have up there is I have 286 or 288 pear trees, right? But here's the beauty of it. Um, I have the pear tree, and I think I have this one here. Yep, I have this one, and I have this one. Okay, and even when you go to your lemon trees, the same thing. I have the lemon tree at P10, and then I think it was this one. Well, this one isn't P10 yet, but hopefully it'll soon get there. But see, oh, that's a no, that's an apple. So that's 5. So all I'm showing you is that. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a 9. I thought it was a 5. Forget about it. But this is all from my workers doing their thing. So it's kind of like it's out of sight, not of mind for you guys if you do this. Okay. And the same thing with apples, because if you don't have, like, say, these trees, then you have the apple tree. And I will tell you, apple trees are fairly easy to level up from day one you play your farm game. And I think what happens is that, I know some of you say, oh, I don't like, harvesting my trees. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. Um, but it's best if you harvest the most important trees, which would be your apple and your pear and your lemon. And try to, if even if the lemon has, like, so many seasons, it keeps doing that, which I'm going to. Okay, so your lemon tree is 2 seasons. And if you remember, I said, what you do is you try to get another tree that complements it, just like the pear. That's what you do. Um, and I think this tree. Wait a minute. Okay. So that tree right there, for example, lemon is spring, summer. So when I go over here, this one here or this one here will cover your winter, because these two are both the same. So you don't have to worry too much about that, you don't. Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's very easy to get these leveled up, because when when you have your workers on them, which obviously I do, and I've been doing this for a long time now. Excuse me. Because I did start originally way back when with corn, potatoes, and things like that. Because those were like the main things that you needed. And at that time, you were 18 by 18. So, and I didn't want to go absolutely out of my mind by putting all these workers down. I did try putting the workers down on the animals, because it did generate some things. Like I think it was because I was just being lazy. But see, I can go to my farm too, for example, and again, I have all my workers mainly on my trees, and then I have one worker down here, by the way. And if you have the new fish, this one guy, he takes care of everything. And again, see, these are my canning machines that he has. I don't really mess with them. But one of the setups that I like is this for let's say, go to my farm 3 for a moment. One of my setups that I do like is, let it get to me to go there. See, now, these guys are handling, and again, there's 4 of them here. So I have quite a few canneries, but the reason I have so many canneries is because of how I got this set up. They're constantly doing all these fish, and all these fish are the original fish that you got before the new ones. Oops, wrong one, wrong category. Because I mean, when you look at the fish that were older like these, you only got, that one doesn't count, but anything without a little icon, you know, a cyber icon or something like that, anything like that is not considered like the newer ones. And even these, they're not the newer ones. These are, well, these are the newer ones. But all I'm saying is we only had 9 of these type fish. 9. Which made it a little difficult. So what I ended up having to do at one point was to double them up and go that route. I mean, and hey, look, mine is still at Prestige 4. So, and I have 2 workers here doing their thing, but specifically only for the 2 fish. You know, for the fish, and that's it, for the low-level fish. But now, you don't necessarily have to set your fish farm up with, like, I'll show you. You don't have to do that, like the 9, for example. You know, if you have a clear wall, this is how you do it. You do it like that. And I only have 130 of each of these fish. Same rule applies to the other fish. I only have 130. And ladies and gentlemen, I am sure that a lot of you have gone to farms where people go and have a bazillion fish. You know, I always say it's like to each his own. That's how I feel. To each his own. It's however you want to set up your farm, whatever you want to work towards doing. I mean, for me, I'm only working towards making my farm. To me, I don't know. It's just a basic, and it's set up in the way that people that are still starting out, that are still struggling, having, let's say, 200 fish, you know, or not 200 fish, I'm sorry, level 200 farm or under, or even 300. And I know some of you guys are still struggling, and I get it. I totally get it, because, you know, a lot of times you people say, well, I'm not getting any visitors, and I'm not getting this. I don't have it. How do you make all those, you know, diamonds, and how do you make all those metals? Basically, it took me a long time, to be very honest with you. It took me a long time, but there are also, when I go to town and I see my berry trees will always be full, because I'm not kidding you. Every day when I log on, they're always full. And I will tell you right now, if you come to my farm during the event, you're going to see all of that stuff full. It gets full all the time. Now here, I've got the berries and peanuts. So, like, see, I get diamonds from that. Of course, she's gonna not give me anything else. But you see, now my next, hopefully I can get it out as I can do the peanuts, because I do not have any peanut butter factories at all. This guy here, you know, like if you have a lot of eggs and things like that, but you can also, through the cheese and through the cannery, okay? This guy over here, I'll show you. This is the restaurant, and this is actually one of the shops way back when that was suggested to level up, because when you level up this particular shop, the one thing that you get from him is your ribbons. Hence, that's why I use those 2 trees for ribbons. You know, and the juice, well, that's in between what, lemon and I think the grapes too. So I really sell my pears and my lemons and my apples. Rarely do I do that, simply for the fact that, you know, I use it on the machines. But now there is, of course, the jam stalls. And let's go there. And again, it's not fully leveled up, by the way. Okay, so this is the candy shop, right? So, I mean, I could sell it down, okay? But I'm generating metals, and you know, and I was very guilty of that too. I actually forgot about the jam stall, you know, like the shop. I honestly forgot about it in the beginning. Like, oh, where am I going to get metals from? If you get like your jam stall, let's say, because you do get that one first, and then you get the lemon one. Um, I would especially put up, the apples and the pears, because you're going to end up going here and cashing in. I will show you this too. Like what's my upgrade? See, I don't really want to upgrade it right now at this very moment because I'm kind of content with what I got. I'm lazy, okay? I just want to let you know I'm so lazy. But I don't, and I think this one here, she's low level too. Yep, it is. See, but I don't want to. You know, especially in this category, I mean, if you're in your houses faithfully every single day, all the day, doing all of these things, then yeah, I can see you guys doing that. But if you're not, don't worry about it. But this is where, you can cash in also and get ribbons. I mean, there's plenty of shops to get ribbons. There's no, you know, shop that, doesn't offer you something. Um, and like I said, people are jumping on the donkey wagon. Well, good luck and God bless for them because, it's kind of like, oh, I just passed the guy. But here's the guy that's the Spitty. Okay, so when you're doing your thing, collecting the horseshoes, um, that's it. Like you get them from the donkeys, you do get them from the horses. I'm not sure what the zebra's gonna drop, but hey, we'll all find out soon. And I want to put a very, very serious, serious warning out there for you people. Um, It's called time jumping. And please don't Google it because then you might get tempted and God forbid. Okay. I'll tell you basically what it is. Basically what it is a, it's when somebody has the their event farm, set up before it's time. Meaning I have to go and do my farm and set it up before to let you guys come into my farm and that, right? But then there are those who do time jumping. They already have existing zebras on their farm, stuff like that. And you know what? It's going to screw up your game. It could screw up their game, and all of the above. But in that same sentence, I hate to say that word, but I'm going to say it. It's cheating. It's not modifying. It's cheating. Okay? So if you find yourself going to a farm and you see the event, blah, 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 and then you go to that farm and you see all that event stuff up before the time, well, you're on a farm that somebody is using a cheat on it. Okay? And there's no gray area about it. But you need to know to be careful. Because if you're not careful, it's a good chance it could screw up your game. It could screw up their game. And please don't try doing this on your own farm. Because, again, you could screw up your game. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't care if somebody's offering you zebras and this and that for your farm. I personally, I wouldn't touch it. I'm going to wait and be surprised and be happy, like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm going to be, when I go to put down, and I will show you this, because this is what's going to happen come event day. Franny! There you are! There's Fran. Yeah. Well, that's why, and not that I was cheating or anything, but on my second account, okay, that's the one I test things on, arrange things on, and blah, blah, blah. So, rather than me lose this farm that everybody that has helped me with this farm. I honest to God, I did not want to put this farm in beta. I did not. And then a light bulb went on. I said, you know what? You could always do the other one because I'm always changing it. I'm always recycling it. So it sort of, in that sense, didn't matter. And so, yeah, I put that farm in the beta, But then when I try to get out of it, I was having issues. So I said, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone and not bother with it again. I'm just going to leave it be. I'm going to leave it be. Hello, BC. How in the world are you today? So now I'm going to do the countdown over here with my things. But again, people, seriously, if you go on the event day, if you go just diddy bopping around, and if you see farms with event items on there, or if it's a full event farm before the event starts, I'm just telling you, you know what? Go there at your own risk. But just be aware that it's a very bad thing. Because and it was just really weird because the first time I heard that, I goes, hey, what is that? And then when it was explained to me, I'm like, are you serious? I mean, come on, this is supposed to be, like a family, relaxed, chill out kind of game. But now we got these people doing time jumping and putting zebras where they right now don't belong. Yeah. It's like, but it's okay. Because you know what? I'm going to go and use my secret shopper. I have a secret shopper, guys. That's actually my other account. I'm going to go use my secret shopper, and she's going to be checking some of these farms out. And I swear to goodness gracious and the Lord, if I find one zebra, okay. Oh, okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. People are getting so hostile these days. It's not funny. It's just not. It's not even funny when someone's got 4 different accounts. What are you doing with 4 different Farm Together accounts? What are you doing? Yeah. I know what you're doing. Oh, gosh. Somebody could have 6, right? They could have as many as they want. I don't care. It's a free country, right? But I only have the 2. And like I said, in my second one that I have, I really just use it for just messing around and stuff like that. And honestly, and to be honest with you about this too, it's like when I if I don't know if I can buy hand grenades, but if I could, I would. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, believe it or not, years ago, I used to be a manager at Radio Shack years ago, okay? And I was actually very good at what I did, I kind of want to say that I was very knowledgeable. I would make sure that my employees were very knowledgeable and weren't silly. But what would happen is I would, on occasions, go to other stores, But the thing is, I didn't dress like, that conservative dress. I would go in there and, with my jeans on and whatever. But I had this vest, okay? And had all my favorite little pins on it, I don't even want to... Well, I had one pin on there that sounded like witch, but it was the other word around, And the thing is, I would sometimes go into these stores, no lie, and first off, where is everybody? They're out back smoking their cigarettes or whatever, shooting the breeze. So somebody could actually go in that store and just rob them blindly because they're all in the back room doing whatever. And I was doing this for a long time, and finally my district manager, he picked up what I was doing, and he says to me, he goes, it's you, isn't it? I'm like, what do you mean it's me? What are you talking about? He goes, you're the one that's going into these stores, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am. Okay, I am going there. I said, but people don't realize it's me. They think it's some just average Joe that just goes in the store. And I told him, I said, Kevin, guess what? You know how many stores I went into and everybody's in the back room? And he's like, he's like looking at me. He goes, I don't want to hear that. I'm like, well, I'm telling you. It was pretty fun doing that, though, because, I mean, I just took my own initiative, you know? Yeah. So I'm going to I'm going to exclude this road for this area for a minute. So what I have now is, well, I have nothing. I have invisible zebras here, by the way. See them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, that's not good. 12, 13. I think that would have made it 15,000 because I know when I go and put down the kitten Tinkerbells, notice I said kitten. If I put down the kitten Tinkerbells, yeah, don't they look a little thin? So what I'm going to be able to do is put down 15,000 Tinkerbells, kitten Tinkerbells, and 15,000 zebras. That's it. And no, and I will have, but see, you know, if worst case scenario, I can put I have my lettuce up there. It's going to be transferred into being corn. Not to mention my corn that's on my second farm. So they'll be good to go. And I want to say this is an exclusive thing. I want to make sure that my members, or you know, if they need to go firsthand to come to a farm to get a bazillion of the Tinkerbells or the zebras, you know, I will set my farm to private and put the code in for you guys to come and just do your thing, and that's it. I would, yeah, we're gonna get them on the, right when the event starts. We're gonna get them. We will have them. Yeah, yeah. And they eat wheat. Yeah, yeah. So BC, you know, if like I said, if you know, I can make my farm very private. You can just pop on and do your thing. Get what you need because it's going to be a lot of Tinkerbells, kitten Tinkerbells and zebras. It's going to be a lot. You know, you know how it's the initial one that'll say do 12,000 of these and 15,000 of those. That's the way it's going to work. And so, yeah, yeah. So and I'll actually even post it up there so you guys can see it. You know, I'll say, hey, the farmer's open privately only. If you guys want to get in there and do your thing, it'll be open. I mean, because, granted, I like helping a lot of other people, but I also like to help my own people because, you know, they are good people and they're a great community. And, you know, they, like I said, they do help open. Ooh, automatic weapons. You know, I tell you something. I, well, you know something. I think I will take those over the pitchforks and the torches that you know that that I kind of felt the other night. I felt them pitchforks sticking. I'm like, oh man, ow, ow, ow. You know. But you know, I mean, and it's kind of sad though when you just get, it's like an unruly crowd that just comes at you and they lunge at you. And then everything's there's like a calm, you know. I mean, but then the next thing you know, you always have that one person, and you know who you are, but there's that one person, you know, that has so much animosity and so much anger and you know things like that. And four 4 separate accounts just kind of makes me wonder, what are you doing with 4 separate accounts? Not that it's bad, because I have 2, my first one and then a second one, but it just makes me wonder. Yes. I'm still crying because I'm not even. Well, wait a second. I did finally. Well, wait a minute. Well, I'm still finally 706. Woo woo. And my farm is 619. But you see, I'm kind of. I should. No, I'm not going to ask. But I just kind of wonder, because I have played on this farm for so long, right? Beta would have probably have given me that boost of getting close to 1,000. Beta probably would have done that, because I never played this one in beta. But a lot of people that did play in beta via Steam, they did get that boost. So there it is. And a lot of people were called cheaters. A lot of people were called cheaters. And that word, it just slips off the tongue, just slips right out there. And then the pitchforks and the torches start coming at you. It's like, oh my Lord, have mercy, please don't, please. Yeah. People can be mean sometimes. They can be very toxic, actually. Not just mean, but toxic. When when someone says, okay, enough is enough, stop. It takes a dev to come in to say, stop. And then they still say, well, I still disagree with what you did. Okay, have a nice day. Yeah, I've seen people at level 1,000. As a manufacturing beta, I've seen people's farms at level 1,000. But in the sense of the word, it didn't surprise me. Because clearly, it was explained that the reason why those farms and people were close to level 1,000, or that farm was level 1,000, it was because of beta. That's the reason why. But I think, in all honesty, I think the person that started that whole ordeal, I kind of think they either did it for attention or to rile the group up, things like that. And I completely ignored it, because I'm like, well, I kind of sort of know different. You know what I'm saying? Because, honestly, I did see farms at level 1,000. And in that same sense, I didn't think that they were cheating or anything until, actually I read it that, oh, yeah, all that XP accumulated, and stuff like that. And that's how they got it that way. But they kind of left out the fact. No, BC, I absolutely agree. It's your game. Do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. But I think sometimes, because I know that there's sometimes people, I don't know, it's almost like, they got a big spoon and they want to just keep stirring the pot, and they just don't know enough to just quit. Well, it's like I told Ace. My mom used to say, God rest her soul, too many Indians and not enough chiefs. Bottom line, no gray area about that, And for me, yes, I will stand up for anybody in our group. I will. And I personally don't care, because when it involves members from my group, and then being called something else, it's like, oh no. But then I realized that whereas everybody else was just being really cruel, rude, and unacceptable, I just said, you know what, I gotta go in here and I gotta be cool, calm, and collective and be nice about, and I was. because if you go into a crowd and start yelling and screaming at them, they're going to yell and scream at you, maybe stick you with the pitchfork or whatever they got. They might even hang you up in a tree. I don't know. But I wasn't going to let that happen. I was not. I defend my people. I defend my people, and then when it comes down to this, and which it did, when it came down to the bottom line, it came down to the one person or several people that created and made the game and owned the game. Everybody else doesn't matter. It does not matter. But, it's almost like they want to keep rolling that fireball. Well, guess who's going to be standing at the other end waiting for it? Me. Yeah. And I do that in any given situation. When I see something that's wrong, my brother tells me it's going to get me in trouble. He goes, but it's a good thing. I'm so glad you like that. For me, it's just a normal thing. Because I think if you see something that's not right, you're going to hopefully not. And the thing is, not saying it's a bad thing, but I think the majority sometimes, will step up and will say something. And then, of course, you got that majority that will not step up. They just stand there and watch. They get their phones out. They take videos of it, but they never say anything. And it's not until somebody steps up and they try to end the situation, just make the situation stop and end, which is, great. But I'm not someone that's going to stand there and take my camera out and video what's going on. I'm going to try to say, hey, stop, enough's enough, quit. But that's just me. That's my makeup. That's I don't know. That's how God made me, I guess. But Franny, I didn't forget about you. So now you see, this here will be the event farm. But, and again, this is all conservative. And I'm sure you've gone to plenty of farms where you see people with a whole big bunch of these things, the machines. And I keep all my machines, all of them, with the exception where you see the fish farms. But I keep all my machines in one area. I don't keep them, Well, that's okay. You can lurk all you want, darling. But, you know what, Franny? That's an awesome way to start out, very honestly. Because you could go like 2, let's say, for example, on your jam and your juice. Because you know how those roll. You know how they are. And I always suggest that to people. Oh, but you know what though? See, like this is my grape machine, right? This thing drives me absolutely cuckoo because I did try doing the grapes. That just didn't work out too well for me. But see, oh no, that's a level 7, so we're not going to mess with that. These are my newer ones. So hold on a minute. What level is this one? 6. Okay. And I'm very careful how many machines I put down. It would drive me absolutely crazy. Okay, for example, when you look over to the right, you'll see that it shows you how your refills are going. But, I would highly suggest, if you have the favor, friend, go and do your machines, your factories, with just a little thing of favor on there, just a little bit. Oh, thank you, Yoshi, for the follow. I appreciate it very much. But seriously, I think ever since day one, I tell people, especially if you're new into the game and you're just starting out, do yourself a favor. Don't go buying a bunch of machines. Really, don't do it, because you know how many times I've gone to a farm and you walk over to the machines, but you can't fill them. And the reason why you can't, good example, like if you look at my tomatoes up in the top left, those are kind of safe. Um, peppers we don't use. Grapes are kind of safe. And the reason why I say the grapes are kind of safe is because I only have 2 grape machines, so I'm good with that. See? See, like watch the tomatoes. It wants 900, okay? Now, in the real world well, now this is even since we have more space, but what I'm trying to say is, if, okay, we're talking 900 for one machine that has reached 100 in tomatoes, right? So it's going to drop it down, and especially, are you out there planting 900 tomatoes every day? Probably not. So that's the reason why I only have 2 machines, because I do not plant enough to do that. Ooh, look at my tea; it's just cooking away. Okay, these ones here, the tofu factories, they require garlic. Again, it's the usual 900. And I highly recommend, like, if you get any one of these machines, yeah, one is fine. And again, see, now the grapes ain't so bad. It's 480 at level 100. That's not so bad. I mean, it's like, when you are doing these machines, oops, I gotta go back over here and do my tea. See, now that's with the herbs. This is kind of a new thing. And even though, yes, my 2 tea factories are level 100, it's not really asking for a whole lot for that level, for our level 100. But, you know what it does, Yoshi? The only thing that watering flowers do for you is it will increase what you yield. It does not make your flowers grow any faster. It just increases, like, the XP. It increases your XP. It increases the gold. Okay, but that's it. That's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. So therefore you do not have to, you don't have to water them. I mean, but like I said, it will give you more. Let me see if I can probably not. Let me see something here. Let me show you on Farm 3, for example. And by the way, I do have some of my flowers watered, but I only have specific ones. So let me go down to the. Okay. Here's what happens. Let me. Oh crap! I gotta use. I have to use a little favor. Not a big deal. Let me just go to town for a moment, and I'm gonna show you what it does. Okay. I'm gonna go use some favor. Just a little bit. Okay. 11 minutes, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is go up here, and, okay, now, before I even start these flowers down here, the biggest flowers in the game that give you a lot of XP is going to be your pink and gold poinsettias, okay? Basically, that's that. But now, I'm going to show you something. Right now, the gold ones will give me the 28,000 and 28. It shows me that there. Oh, I gotta click it over to there. Okay. Planted, harvest, money spent. Come on, buy, growth, days, yield 38. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you something what it does. I'm gonna do my gold, and there I will get 1,840 XP. And again, my gold does increase. So if you look at any one of your flowers, oh, shut up. I hate when my phone does this to me. I want to shut it off. Let's do this. It's saying to me. What's this do? It's always this. Okay, so if you notice, that I get, obviously, a little more gold. I get a little more of XP. I double the XP, actually. So, but the thing about this, Yoshi, bear in mind, is that I wouldn't go watering every single flower. I just wouldn't. You do have, like, your low-end flowers, like, your daisies, because let me see, it's this one, and the orange one. Okay, so your daisies, your rose type flowers, and your poppies are the flowers that you use in your flower machine. Okay, and then as you move up, you'll get more. Oh, let me go back. It's gonna kick me in the pants. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back down here to 4. Oh no, I don't have to do that. No, 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 no. I have to just run over here. Now you see what I got for XP on my gold. Pink, the difference between the gold and the pink, okay, is the time frame, how long it takes. So I get 11,367 and 1850 for XP. The gold ones were 1840, a 10-point difference. To me, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't matter. So it's not going to be, I mean, like I said, if you want to water your flowers, be picky. Seriously, be picky as to what flowers you really want to have to water them, because you've got how can I put it? It's like you got the daisies and stuff, and you can look at the time frame, because poinsettias are. Let me just double check if it tells me. Poinsettias, for example, the pink ones, are 2 days and 6 hours. Okay. Bear that in mind. And this is the other little thing too. You've got 2 days and 12 hours on the yellow. And I am a big slacker when it comes to my flowers. I very rarely come and I harvest them. And that's the truth. I very, very rarely come here to harvest them just simply because. The more you work on your farm, the more XP your farm is going to get. It's going to get that. Yeah, when you go to other people's farms, obviously you're going to get more XP because you're at somebody else's farm and this and that. But see, these are all your daisy type flowers right here, and they don't really give you a whole lot. They don't. So to me, in that sense, I really won't water them. And when you look at what the time frame is, you got 2 hours on your regular daisies. That's it, So, and as you progress through picking up more flowers, you're going to start noticing that, oh gosh, this is 2 days, this is 3 days, and well, no, there's no flower 3 days, but it's kind of you weigh the pros and cons of that. But like I said, I do not, and I know some people, they'll see flowers and they leave. Don't worry about it. But I just basically, I mean, if it's the high-end flowers, yes, I will water them. But when it comes to the low-end ones, no, not really. I won't do it. I much prefer to just do some of the high ends. I might do a few that I like. I might go that route, but yeah, it's not worth water them. It's really not. Oh, by the way, guys, these are the new sprinklers we got yesterday. Woo-hoo. I haven't really put them out in the field. I might do it eventually at some point. I don't know when. But yeah, because I mean, like I said, if you ever go to a farm and people have got all their flowers watered, it's just because of what it yields, basically. That's all it does. But obviously, too, when you use your boost, it gives you more. But now again, when you go to somebody else's farm, it doubles those flowers to the owner of the farm. So there's that. But you do get a lot of XP. I gotta give you that. And with flowers, when you go to somebody else's farm, please don't expect to get favor really fast, because favor and flowers kind of sort of don't really mix. And I've tried it with the lower end flowers and in between ones, and it's definitely slow. I usually try to go after, like when I first go to a farm, I think basically I do the trees first. I do the animals because the thing is that people don't realize it. You can get some pretty good XP with the animals too. You really can. And that's what I always do. And I have a low amount of, especially if you're starting out, I have a low amount of animals. I mean, I remember I originally used to have like 300 to 400 animals, different ones. But then I realized that, especially if you're going farm to farm to farm, the thing is, it takes a lot of time. And to me, I don't have time for that. So I try to limit what I do, where I go, and when I do it. That's kind of what I do. And that's the beauty of trees. That's really the beauty of it. Some people think, oh, I'm only going to do half. Well, okay, do whatever you want. I don't care what you do with my trees. Because, they different seasons. It makes no matter. Yeah. But see, that's what I do. It's like, I look at, like I put my 140 cows down or 144, animals down. And that, it works for me. It works for me for now. Because I did have a much, much bigger farm with a lot of animals and a lot of this and that. And to be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of people coming to my farm either. I really didn't. And the reason being is because, and I'm not sure if you've ever had this experience, but, sometimes it depends. It's like when you go to a farm, what are you looking for? Are you looking to go there to get XP? Are you looking to go to get favor? I mean, everybody has a preference why they go to a farm, and like right now, my dilemma is, I guess I want to go to a farm because I need XP and I don't need favor. So there's that. The code to get into whose game? My game or Ace's game? Well, you know what I do for? Oh, Ace. He wants to know what your code is. Well, you know what, Fran? I will tell you something. I don't mind doing trees. I honestly don't. But here's the problem. I have to. It's like what happens is, like how you get a quest or something and it wants you to do X amount of trees. That's my problem. Because I have to look at the season and go, oh, okay, that tree's ready, so I'll go to that other farm just to get that tree. Or sometimes I'll just kind of like let it build up and like, oh, okay, so I got 2 or 3 flowers that need to be done. Then I have trees to get done, but to me, my rule of thumb is I always keep my animals with my crops. That way at least I know they're going to get fed. And, I mean, that's how I do it. I love doing trees. I think maybe that's because when I first started playing Farm Together 1, that's all I did was trees. That's all I did was trees, Farm Together 1. I loved it. Though, it was kind of like, I remember my first time, going on the farm. I really had no clue about the travel points and any of that stuff, east, west, north. I had no clue about any of that. But people liked it when I would go in there and harvest, like do their trees. And I think the second thing I did a lot of was the animals. And I would do the animals all the time.
Hello, Moto.
I'm not answering the phone. And I was, let me see, it was always trees, animals, crops, and I did flowers last. I'm not a big flower fan. What can I say? It's probably like you, Franny. You don't like trees as much as I don't like flowers. Because I don't like doing flowers. I mean, it's not that I mean, if someone really, because I've, I know I've seen it. If somebody has a poinsettia farm set up, right, and nobody's going there, and if I have time, and if they need somebody to go to their farm to help them with their poinsettias to harvest them, I will do that. I don't have a problem with that. Well, see, Franny, next time we'll just holler for you to come and help Debbie Joe and them do their flowers. That's hilarious. And see, and that's the other thing. Everybody has a preference as to what they like doing the most. You know, everybody does. See, I stay out of trouble. See, I should have used more on my pigs because I need a lot of mushrooms. Oh, and by the way, in case you all want to know this, when you upgrade your shops, I want to tell you something. Please try to plant yourself peppers and pineapple. Well, you have the pineapple trees too, but if you can, trees, please try remembering to do peppers and pineapple. I know for some of you, I have no use for peppers. You're absolutely right, but I want to tell you something. If you try to upgrade your shop and the shop says, well, it needs 800 to 1,000 peppers, well, guess what you'll be planting? There you go. The game has this tendency to look and see what you have the least of. It will not touch so much like, like the cupcakes, the pictures, and it won't touch that so much. But it will touch the flowers, your fruit trees, peppers, stuff like that. It will ask you for that. It will definitely ask you for that. And when you're in your minds, do not sell those blue mushrooms because it will ask you for blue mushrooms. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I felt really stupid because when I remember that doing that, opening the mine, I had no clue what was in there and I didn't care. I was probably one of those people that didn't like do the mines either. But then I realized, hey, this is another way of making money. And it was. But I don't, like there is big farms out there, and they have all kinds of things, animals and stuff like that, and you can look and see how many animals or crops they have out there. And that's fine. It just depends, because maybe they do have a whole bunch of machines. Who knows what they got out there? But I try to keep my farm basically to a minimum. I did the overboard stuff, so I'm done going down that avenue. Because it does. I mean, when you think about it, it takes a long time. And I don't care what person and who they are, but to me, if they have a fully loaded farm with, animals and things like that, with 400 or 500 animals of each, well, that they're going to be on that farm for at least an hour. Because they got to run around and harvest all their stuff. And unfortunately, because sometimes too, a lot of people don't visit those farms. They don't. It's kind of like people come to the farm, they look and see, and they go, oh, that's what's there, and then they just leave. And it's really hard to find that balance. It honestly is. It's hard to find that balance, only because it's like saying to you, Fran, well, what do you need the most of? I always ask that for the beginner person. I always do. Well, what do you need? Do you need ribbons? Do you need diamonds? A friend of ours, she, and I told her to do this just for herself personally. I told her to make a mini, and I helped her. I made her a mini lettuce farm because when you first set out, you don't have all your walls open, and she obviously did not. But you know what? We managed to get her a lettuce farm, a little one, and then it made it bigger and bigger and bigger. But also, it helped her generate diamonds, a lot of them. And she was able to open up the walls and things like that. And then, we got into her flowers and things. So it was really fairly easy because I think you get sheep like really late. But your factories are key, especially if you're using boost. Um, and like I said, I mean I've said it before. I've seen so many people well they'll come to my farm because I said this to Ace. I goes, do you notice this person keeps leaving your farm and then they come back, leave, come back, leave, come back? Well, that's because what they were doing was they were getting enough favor, going back to their farm, doing whatever they were doing, and then they would come back to his farm and continue on. And they would do this like 3 or 4 times. So. And, when eventually I've used up all my favor, I'll be doing the same thing. But there's not really a whole heck of a lot that I want to use my favor for. There's really not. There's just, for me, no. I kind of like to think that I'm just a casual player. And, just like Yoshi and even you, friend, if people have questions and if they need to know, I'd be more than happy to let you guys know. To me, I don't mind saying, yeah, you can do this and this. I think as you progress through your own farm and your own game, you might find something, say, hey, this works. This helps me get a lot of this, and if it does, it's great. I got these in the fall, and I'll do both. Yes, I can do this. See, like this side here is for quest crops only. And then those are just my regular items. So, yeah. Oops. Tomatoes, thank you. Got it back up here. Go over here. And I hope you guys come to my farm when the event starts. Oh, is that the end of it? Wow. 50 tomatoes, that's it? Wow. And I think the importance too is especially now, see when I said about the corn, it's ready. And it's 15 minutes, which isn't, it's not bad. Yeah, how many, well, here's all, oh, that is a nightmare, Franny. Trust me, I know. I remember, which was a mistake, this is what I initially did, just so I could open all the horses. I started with I got the first one I did was I got 600 horses when they first came out. And so when they first came out, I got 600 horses and, moved on. So then, here's where the apples came into play. So I obviously cut it back to I think it was roughly 250 of each horse, right? And then it was until then, because when you have 600 horses, what do you expect? They're going to eat a lot of apples, right? So I did 250, and when I did the 250, and I'll show you actually what happens. So I had I had 6 of those type horses, all 6, 250. So what's 500, 500, 500. So so the thing is, the first day I think I must have had Pretty close to 20,000 apples. Them horses ate them all. See, watch this. I go to my horses if they're ready. They're probably not. Oh, no. Are they ready? I thought yeah, no, the donkeys are, yeah. Let me just see. Double check. Mr. Goat, are you taking a swim? Oh, I guess he is. Well, he was. No swimming. You know, I could have went down there like this. What an idiot I am sometimes. No, these are donkeys. And you know what? And again, I only have 100 and I think it's 44. I want to say, yeah, 144. So I'm at 144 horses. Okay. I don't know what the big to do is about this with donkeys, but you know, I only have 144 of each, but I have over 30,000 wheat. So we shall see when the zebras get put up how that works, because Lord only knows. And again, people are doing donkey farms and donkey and wheat farms. I don't know. But they are doing it because they want to get the medals. So I get that. See, I think for me personally, I stayed ahead of that game. I stayed way ahead of that way back when. And, you know, I just let my ribbons and everything accumulate for quite a long time. And that's what I do. You know, it's like, for me anyways, I don't know, some people, I don't know what they're spending them on. Well, they're probably doing, and I will tell you something, don't go wasting, because this is what kills you. Trust you me. What kills you is when you start doing prestige, when you prestige things, right? And what happens is, you know, you're not just paying diamonds, but some of them with the ribbons. So you got to kind of weigh the pros and cons. Is that what you want to do? You know, I mean, I can go to and I will show you this in town. That's why I'm saying when you prestige something, you've got to be very careful because of the fact that you could be prestiging something that's going to take a long time for you to level it up again. And again, I haven't prestiged everything. But see, I still got a pretty decent amount of wheat, which I'm doing good at. My horses, I will tell you right now, if those horses were ready to be fed, I would probably lose at least 10,000 apples. So yeah, see, that's called getting your apples like they have the regular apple tree, and that's cheap, right? So what you want to do is, I mean, like, I don't know how many apple trees you got down, but what I would do is I would work on putting some apples down, and I know this is going to sound a little crazy, but okay, I'm going to go over here to number 7. I'm going to show you what I did. I have a worker for my apples. Let me see. Is he one there, I think. Let me just double check. Okay. These are my apple guys somewhere in the mix of the mess. Okay. See, like this guy here. No, he's not doing. Wait a minute, what is he doing? No, he's up top. Okay. No, that is the apples. Okay. So, because he's at the end, that's why. Okay. So, what's going on is. At the wall. Yep. Okay. So what's going on is I put down the 2 rows, and basically how it works for me is it's always going to be, where is my first apple guy? Let's go here and then to the right. That's the best way to go there to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. I want to go to his beginning. And again, I only have 286. But the thing is, I have, Like here, I have an apple tree, and then the golden apple tree, but you can get, you'll get second. But the thing about these trees is, and let's say you don't have the golden apple tree yet, so don't worry about it. If you have the cyber ones, that's even better because um, your chrome cyber tree is all seasons, and your apple tree is all seasons. But again, it's cheaper. So like I know that what I did was I was doing it individually. I think at the time it was like a little bit under 400 for the trees. So whereas you got this one's all season, I try to do that. The Royal Gala, I was very slow and sluggish with this one. Um, and and again, now if you let's say hypothetically you want to put some trees other than the apple tree up, here's the trick behind it, as well as like spice trees. We all know that the apple tree is 4 seasons. Okay, so let's say you wanna, your apple's 4 seasons. Now let's just say you don't have cyber trees. Okay, so if you don't do this, you got your Royal Gala, which is spring, winter. Okay, so what we're looking for is summer, fall, right? So we have to see something that's summer, fall, which is not the granny apple, but you try to find a tree that complements each other. If you're doing peanuts, but you don't want to put a bunch of peanut trees up, okay, so we're talking a pine tree and the pistachio tree. Those two trees complement one another when you have workers on them. It will keep them busy all the time. And I mean, and that's how it really works. Yeah, yeah. See, I mean, you could do that. See, and is it what I would do? Honestly, you know what I would do if you could. I don't know how many apple trees you got down, but here's what you do. If you put this tree and that tree, next to each other, you just might have to move them. And I'll show you that too. I'll show you so you don't get confused here. Okay, I'm going to go to the end over here. For example, let's say I want to move the bronze cyber trees, right? So I stand in front of this very, very first tree, and I tap my X twice. It will pick up all 288 of those trees. It'll pick them up. See? And how you know it is, it's got this white square around them. If you hit the X, that means you're deleting them. We don't want to do that. And then you just go back into that screen and that'll go away. But yeah, that's what I would do is if you have the golden apple tree, you'll absolutely put them side by side. But now if you have, if you're doing berry trees, it's like the same rule. Same rule applies. You've got a spring, winter, black mulberry, right? So now we need to get a summer, fall, which is, if I'm not mistaken, here we go, summer, fall. Come on, baby. Oh, there we go. Summer, fall. So summer, fall with blueberries, and then you've got, your black mulberry. So those two, complement one another. And the same rule applies with red currant. Fall, winter, over here, spring, summer. They complement each other. And for you might have to put a little bit more down, but I only put 286, and that's and that's what I got. But I know way back when I was doing probably in the beginning I was putting 400 down. I would start with 2, then I would do another one for 3 because I forget what level you get the golden apples and stuff like that. But the golden apples, I know that when we finally got them, I actually put them down, but it was just the idea that I put a lot of those down, and it was just driving me absolutely crazy. So I think that's even what inspired me to say, you know what, I'm just going to put workers on my trees instead of having to come running back and forth. And I actually, at the time, had an area with the trees. I put my horses and my donkeys on that same farm, and I just kept the workers on the trees. Well, the specific trees, like that you use for your machines, and it worked out okay. Even when I recycled my farm, I was still able to just kind of like put those two together, my berry trees, together. Um, and the best trees in the game for your spice um, will always be the Ceylon and the Cassia because they both complement one another. These ones don't really do anything when you look at them. The cocoa tree, because they're summer. There is nothing out of these four spice trees, including this one over here. Okay, so when you and I know they're a little costly, but you know what? When you get the chance to put these down and buy a little more at a time, buy a little more at a time, and especially if you have them side by side, and if you have workers on them, it will generate a lot for what you need. Like, why doesn't it show me what it does again? Oh, come on. Okay, yeah, okay. So without me using any type of boost, right? I get three. I get 3 cinnamon per tree. I have those two trees on my farm one. I don't harvest them. The workers do, and the workers harvest 575 trees. So you do the math. 3 times 500, that's 15. You know what I mean? You got 15 right there. And then, of course, and then there's a 75. So it's kind of like you know what you're going to get. So, in between these two trees. And it depends on how many trees you put up. I mean, there's no, to me, there's no, like, area. Oh, and these are the ones I put. I felt so stupid about this. Um, brown turkey fig tree. I guess it's a melon. I guess that goes under the melon category. I don't know. And I actually, by accident, because I forget what those melons were for, but I was hardly getting any and we needed some, so I figured, okay, so we'll do this, And the bananas were basically easy, but the only thing that was a little drawback about the bananas was the fact that, if you haven't noticed yet, ladies and gentlemen, oops, where am I? Okay, get over here. Over here to the far left, those are all the, oh yes, they do take forever. Oh, absolutely. See, Franny, that's the thing. You probably, you're on the right track, because I know about them peppercorns. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was on that peppercorn, and then the other one, and I trust you, me, I was down that road. And I remember a while back someone was saying about this tree and that tree, and I said, but I think there was one I didn't get right away, but then when I finally got it, I absolutely put them down. And actually, there was somebody else I knew that, and he did notice a huge improvement. I said to him, I says, you know what? Why don't you put a bunch of the trees, the spice trees down, the cassia and the other one? And he goes, I said, let me tell you something. I goes, if you put workers on both those trees, the Ceylon and the cassia, you'll see what I'm saying. It's seriously far more better to do that than it is to go plant. You don't have to wait 16 hours or whatever, how many hours it is. I'll check that, but it takes forever to level them up. But when I started doing my trees, no problem. Whoops, get out of there. Here's your crops, and I want to do by resource. Yeah, okay, because not all the trees are going to be there. Not all the spice crops are going to be there. But I mean, the thing is you got a crop here that's 16 hours. That's your basic one, the green. Then you've got this one, 20 hours. You got this one here, 18 hours. I mean, you're looking at a lot of time, Even if you water them, okay, so it's half that. But when you have 4 seasons, it's what, every 17 minutes roughly? I mean, it's like just put the workers on them and you're good. See, like I said, Fran, you're on the right track. You're going the right way. Um, maybe it's a matter of like just fine tuning it or tweaking it just a teeny little bit. Um, you know, because I do know that some people it's like they forgot how they did their farms, but I remember I did these, and you don't see any of these peppercorn ones up to Prestige 5 because you know why? I'll show you why. When you go over here, and this is the big thing because I know people are still asking about Prestige, and the thing about Prestige, obviously you can see a lot of them are not Prestige. Some are, some aren't. I kind of was monkeying around with them. But, very honestly, you just got to be careful because, like, when you Prestige them, it does cost a lot for everything and anything. So you got to be kind of careful. I mean, we're talking X amount of diamonds, and then it goes up to more for your ribbons. See, so that's why when I try to tell people, do yourself a favor, do not go and prestige everything you see. 'Cause it's honestly, it's not worth it. When it comes to my animals, the same thing. Well, I did my Easter rabbits, even though they did screw them up, I still got them fixed. The only chicken I actually found that was sort of the fastest to level up was the Cerama Bantam chicken. That was the only one. When it came to the goats, okay. See, the secret to this is when you are harvesting your animals, here's what you got to watch out for. When you're harvesting your animals, wait until they're after level, let's say 15 or 20, because in the early stages of when or any animal is like level 1, it's going to level up really fast. So you figure, oh, good, I'll just go in there and level it up, right? And I think Blaze said she finally got her Leghorn chickens up to P5. Yeah, okay. I can't say that and be proud of that because mine ain't. I mean, this is sad. My Leghorn chickens are P1 still. So I'm just saying. Yeah, even though, which I don't think it makes a difference. Your Leghorn chickens are every 20 minutes that you can go. I made those my best friend in the first beginning of the game. That was cool. But as you progress, when you make your Leghorn chickens and you have a whole big bunch of them, that's where you're going to get a lot of gold from. Yes. Did you forget?
Yeah.
That means you're getting old. Did
Well,
you forget why you came in here?
Remember, I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
I'm home.
Oh. Well, welcome home.
Yeah, I'm home.
Okay. It's a horrible thing when you go to a room and then you go in there and you forget what you were going in there for in the first place. You gotta love it. Now see, donkeys, to me, when you're prestiging everything, it's almost like going to your shops and you're leveling them up. That's where my dilemma is. So it's kind of like, Oh, okay. And seriously, Fran, when you decide what you want to prestige, honestly, it's almost like don't do what I did. I had to learn the hard way. When you prestige something, I think in a sense of the word to say it, the easiest ones for me at the time was when I finally got my corn, for example, up to level 100. Or, when I got my trees, not all of them, just at the time, some of them, because, obviously I work gradually at the other ones. But when you do, like, it's like when you do your trees, obviously you want to do an apple, you want to do a lemon, you want to do a pear tree. When it comes to your animals, and this is in all honesty, be careful, because you gotta kind of and trust. And I did it. I said, because one time I did it, I was like broke. I didn't have any ribbon. I had nothing. I was like, so what did I do? I know what I did. I went into prestige this, and I was broke. So I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. But like, see, I could do a land raised pig cheap, right? 15, what, 1,500,000, no, what, 1,500. So I get 15, 6, and 24. Isn't that cheap, right? Yeah, that's cheap, right? But see, some of them go up higher. And I'll show you something else. Like if you got some of the new fish, they're even more expensive. I hope you guys all know the most expensive fish we have now today is 100,000 gold for one fish. 100,000. Can you imagine? So I mean, it's kind of like before you jump on the I'm gonna prestige everything bandwagon. Don't do it. I would prestige the most important ones you need. That's what I would do. The most important ones you need. I know, ma. Will it show me? It should, right? Let me go to my flowers, for example. You haven't seen and this is the other, you haven't seen the shops yet. Oh my God. And like, see this? These are a lot of them are the low level flowers, and no, I will not prestige them because I won't. I won't. I prestiged, let me see. I think you know what? I prestiged this one because I thought it was a pretty flower, and silly me thought, oh, it's going to level up fast. Well, that didn't work out too well for me. And the same thing with the sunflowers. I loved the sunflowers when they came out. So, I jumped on the prestige bandwagon for those. They sort of didn't work out too well. Let me see. I mean, it's just a matter of being very careful. It's like choose wisely. I don't even want to know about these getting prestiged. These are all your teas and herbs, and I don't want to know. I honestly don't want to know. I don't care. It made me broke 5 times, Franny. 5 times. I mean, I had nothing. Well, not on this farm. On my second account where I do a lot of experimentation. And we'll see. And the thing is, that was during beta. So basically, what I did was during beta was, I said, oh, okay, so I need, and I know you know what I'm saying. It's like, oh, so I need this to be level 20 to get this, right? Okay, I think I still have one thing on the farm that it says that I have to be. Let me just see if I don't know what category it's under. But I have something. It is. Oh, and don't get if you are able to plant your herbs and stuff. I'm going to tell you right now. On my main farm, I have 535 each of these, and believe you me, that was not an easy task. Because I went broke a couple of times, not as much as the other one, but to be conservative. Anywhere's between 150 to 200 is conservative. It's not going to break your bank. It's not going to be. No. It will not cost you any more than that. It'll cost you whatever whatever. But it could be level 500. It's not going to matter because what it does is when you prestige something, it draws it back to level 1. That's all it does. But you'll have that little prestige insignia thingy on it, And again, it's every 100. It's every 100 that it does, but it doesn't. The only thing is, I love when she says, "Oh, good, thank you," because the corn might not be so bad, but it's almost like when you go perceive something a second time and a third time. Oh my goodness, it really rises. It does. It goes up. It goes up higher. But I'm trying to think. I don't think it was a flower. Let me see. No. No. Maybe I. No. No, it can't be. No, that can't be right. No. 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 I don't see it. Ah! Isn't this a shame? And I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't want it. I don't care. I mean, I know what it is already. But it's just the idea. My farm has to be level 700 before I get the big golden duck. Wow. You see, I don't want the big golden duck. Yeah. And that's very true. See, it's not like the level. It's like the more you want to level it up, the more it goes up higher. Yeah, he probably does. Like, see, if I prestige this here, it's that much, but then it's gonna go up and up and up. Okay, here's my peppers, 12, but then it'll go up again. Trees, the same thing. You might look at, but now this is the biggest thing to pay attention to because I know I didn't. You also have to pay attention to your ribbons. This is the deal. Watch, if you have like oodles of gold, great. But if you don't have oodles of ribbons, that is how you're going to lose them, because you know what will happen when you go out of this prestige building? You're going to sit there and go, oh my God, what happened on my ribbons? You know what happened? You went over here and you prestige a lot. So you got to bear that in mind. You got to bear that in mind because, I mean, like I said, I do have things prestige here that are just like, one, but they're slow. They're slow. And you know what? I can't, I don't want to do them right now. I do have a friend on another farm. She basically, she's got a lot of her stuff. She's got a lot of her stuff prestige, but she's doing it in a very slow way. It's almost like work a little bit at a time at it, but try to have a plan of what's the most important thing on your farm that you need right now to be prestige to level 5. And for me at the time was my apples. Yeah, see, that is important. Well, yeah, that's important. If once you get your garage up, you're golden. And then take your time, with your warehouse, because by the way, don't forget you got to do a little bit of your shops. That's the other thing too that'll drive you up. And I'm not going to discuss this, Ace. I am not discussing the mushrooms. Franny's like, what mushrooms? What are you talking about? Come here, Fran. I'll show you something. Take a look. This guy, he wants, like, what? He wants 469,616,575. Do you have that much gold yet? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You feel my pain? And seriously, see, Fran, it's like when you're doing one thing, prestiging, right? And then you're doing something else. Well, this guy over here, he's really not very nice, this guy over here. Wait a minute. I didn't even get it. Okay. We got this young lady over here at the bakery, right? So she's not so bad, correct? Okay. So we'll go over here. What's up with this guy? He wants more? I think they changed it. Looks like they changed it. He wants more. I mean, and the other day, I had like 3 mils, so I'm like, or 3 bill, I think it was 3 billion. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not losing all my money. No, I'm not gonna do that. You know, I mean, it is a lot. I'm telling you. I thought I was gonna cry. So it's like, take your time at it. And that's why I express to people, don't sell those blue mushrooms because you're gonna need them. What's my guy over here want? He wants mushrooms, right? 6,000, and here, look at you got how many ribbons? There you go. He wants 9,493 ribbons, not to mention 6,308 mushrooms. Don't, no, Franny, don't, Fran, because I'll tell you what. Do you know how long I've been playing this game for? I've been playing this game since it first came out in February. It was over 2 years ago. Okay, and no, I'm not a level 100 farm yet, and no, I'm not a level 750 yet. If you follow what I'm saying, I've been taking my time, and hopefully helping other people to, play the game and have fun and enjoy it and stuff like that. That's my thing. It's like I try to do what I can and help others. I mean, that's the bottom line. So I don't rush into everything that's got to be done. I just take my time at it. Yeah. I mean, I suppose, if the worst case scenario, which I will not do, I suppose what I could do is I could just shut my stream down and be a grinder like everybody else is, playing their game 24/7. Okay, and that's really what they do. They grind their game in 24/7, and then eventually you'll see them stop playing for a while. And the reason why they stop playing is because they got bored. I mean, and that's a pretty normal thing that happens with everybody in games. You get bored, or you just But Fran, you're gonna do fine, and and you're more than welcome to come and join our doing our Discord, because we'd be more than happy to help you, because we do help each other, and we'd be more than happy to help you. Maybe give you some ideas how you could set things up and where it should be. And you'll be a very successful farm, and you'll be fine. But that's the reason why I do my streams. I do my streams to help others, and even though it's almost like even though there are those out there that'll say, like Yoshi didn't know why, whether you should water the flowers or not. That's an old question, but it's a good question because it's somebody that wants to know. And and I have seen questions go into the Farm Together Discord, and some people just, I don't know. So I leave it alone, you know what I'm saying? But we have great people in our Discord thing. We do. We have a lot of great people, and they're very helpful. If you need help getting set up and everything, and none of us will encourage you to recycle your farm. It's better off to say, you know what, you should have these over here and these over here. For example, how many workers do you have on your farm right now, Franny? Or up to how many can you have? Yeah, the blue ones you really need. Oh, okay.
Hello, Moto.
Let's see. Well, you know what? When I first started, I had one, then I had two, and I think I somehow worked up to getting three. So I get what you're saying. It's because in that sense, there's so much to do in the game. It's like, well, what do I do first and second, and how do I get this and this and this? But the thing is, it doesn't take a long time. It's just understanding what you need when you first start out and what helps. And it's just like, and I have to say it in all honesty, it's just like, for yourself personally, if you could lay yourself out like a small lettuce area, that will get you diamonds. Because if you don't have all your walls open yet, especially now, that too, by the way, will eventually you will need diamonds and ribbons to open those walls. You will. So you know what I'm saying. So I mean, everything is going to be a little different. But see, so whereas you would need, if you get your 2 workers, and I don't know, I mean, you can still get more workers, most likely, I would think. So, it's kind of like you got to have a plan, and I'm sure you already have it because it sounds like you're doing okay. You just need to fine tune it a little bit, because trust you me, I feel that pain when you want to feed those horses. Oh my God, do I feel the pain. Yeah, yep. Just make sure you just lay out a bunch of corn, have them watered, and you're good. That's all. And you'll be fine. Because, and honestly, on my farm 1, you know what? I have no idea what to put there or what I'm going to put there. But this is the wall right here. So it goes all the way straight down. I have no idea what I'm going to put there. None whatsoever. But the rest of the farm is fully open with the exception of where I'm standing at the bottom wall. I have no idea what I want to put there. Maybe I'll just leave it closed off because I'm used to that. Yep. Oh, I'll show you something else. If and when, Franny, you get your second mine, I'll show you something. If and when you get it. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm going to use my tractor in the mine. One of the things I want to show you in the mine is like, see, I have all 9 of them open. Let me see. No, I guess it's better off to show you that way, huh? Yeah, it is. Okay, so if you take a look at your white mushrooms, you'll know. If you have your white mushrooms open, for example, I think they have to be up to level 20 to open up, another mushroom, type mushroom. And, nope, don't want to do it that way. I can do it this way, can't I? Get out of the way. Okay, nope, I can't do it that way. Do it this way. There we go. Here's your white mushroom, for example. And that one I know and I'm like, I must have had those white mushrooms in the mine forever and a day. I swear to God I did. But see, that mushroom opened up the other mushrooms, then you'll have other mushrooms that open others. The one that I have is the red pine. They finally made 5, so I says, oh, what the heck, I'll do 6, see how far that takes me. Because right now I will get 2 mushrooms. Because if you look at some of the mushrooms, they all don't generate the same amount of mushrooms. Some will give you 3, some will give you 2, some will give you 1. Okay? Just so you know that. But, so what I try to do is, even if let's say, even if it's my first mine, what I usually try to do is, I try to do a balance of the blue ones. So I have this whole top row with blue mushrooms. And then I have another row with, with the white mushrooms, and then I kind of mix and match them for the mushrooms being in there. That's what I generally do. But being that I have my second farm, um, I kind of say, okay, so now I can make this one all white mushrooms, and then the next one all blue. I'm sure you must have the mind open, so I'm going to give you a little tip in case you didn't know about this. If you have you opened your gold, by the way? Because I'll tell you something. You can, like, if you have already opened your copper, because it takes level 10 to open up for silver, right? So basically, what I did was once I knew my copper was open, it opened my silver. I immediately made my very first mine. Because in your case, I made my very first thing in the mine, all the tables. I made them all silver. Okay? That's what I did. I made them all silver. So that way, yeah, okay. So here's what you do, Franny. Run around. Okay, so if you have the silver unlocked, right? Here's what you got to do. Go back into your mine and go in there. And what you do is you go up to the table, every single table, and put gold on those tables. That's what you do. Put gold in there. And then, and like I said, make sure it's on every single table, because all these other minerals will drop, including your copper, including your silver. Because when you look at my mine, okay, I mean, I have gold ones and silver ones, because basically when you look at my inventory down there, oh my God, I still got 3,289 gold. Woo woo. But gold and silver will fall under that same category. So as long as you have all those tables set up to gold, you are, like, to open the gold, do your silver as long as the silver, then just load it up with the gold, because all those other things will fall into play. Yes, I know if you run across something that might require you to for a quest, you might say, oh, it needs topaz, or it's going to need the jade, or something to that effect. These will drop. And I'm not saying they're gonna, you're not gonna get a whole big bunch of them, but they will drop. If you go to one table, and let's say you had a quest for jade, and you say, okay, I'll just make this table for jade. The downside about that is it doesn't necessarily mean that that you're gonna get, let's say, 10 jade or 15 or 24. It just means that they will drop. Okay, and that's how that works. So just to kind of keep you, in that's where what's going on. Because all my tables, I think, are set to gold. Not that it matters, because where you can see I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I get 9 gold or silver. I call it gold because that's what they look like. So I have that many. And then the other ones, they'll kind of like fall into play. Because when I did the copper, yeah, you know what happened to me? It asked me for topaz, right? 8 topaz. And just like you, I did. I changed every single table to topaz. And I waited the next day. The next day, 1 topaz out of the whole mine. Then the next day, 1 topaz out of the mine. So you know what I did? I abandoned the quest because it just wasn't worth it. It was one of those things like, I'm not getting what I need, and I'm not going to wait 8 days for whatever, for it to keep popping up. So I abandoned the quest. It's just like I don't have any peanut butter machines because again, when you start having your machines reaching up to level 100, it's going to require you for 900 of these and 900 of those. It's not like, in the beginning, it changes. So, it's okay if you can make that much. It's I know that Blaze did a lot with her garlic. And what is it? Makes that cheese or something? Tofu, I think. Doesn't it make tofu? I think it makes tofu. But I remember she had a buttload of the garlic, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God!" But because she did have a lot of machines, but then again, when you do have a lot of those machines, well, guess what? You still got to put down, be able to feed those machines. I mean, if you want to leave them with, if you want to get 10 or 12 or 15 of those machines, have at it. And if it doesn't matter to you whether they fill up or not, then that's fine too. See, here's my, speaking of tofu, here we go. Okay, it wants 120. But don't forget, if you have goats, they eat that too. I'm still waiting. I've got to have 102 tofu. Still crazy. It's just crazy as heck. Yeah. But it's called you live and learn, really. You live and learn. I mean, I had to live and learn about the horses with the apples. I mean, literally, I did. I had the horses completely almost deplete all my apples, and I'm like, are you serious? Because I did. I had 20,000, and then all of a sudden, I'd go feed my horses, and I'd be like, are you serious? I would probably have 3,000 to 4,000 apples left. And that was just based on having 250 horses of each. And so, that's why I decided on my farm to tone it down a slight bit and just play conservatively. You know what I mean? I enjoy my game. I can, I don't have to worry about how other things are going. The only thing I think that now that I have to worry about is, because like this is my first farm, my farm one. So basically it's just a matter of getting the event farm all set up and ready to go. So when people come here, No, the goats eat the garlic. No, the goats eat garlic. Yeah. I didn't even realize that until like afterwards. I'm like, wait a minute, goats eat garlic, don't they? No, wait, no. I'm sorry. The sheep eat garlic. The goats eat the eggplant purpley stuff. It's the goats, I'm sorry. But the sheep eat the garlic. That's what it is. So again, it depends. Like if you have a lot of sheep, then they're gonna eat that garlic. And I've seen that where they just eat it right up. It does. Because okay, see now I have 21,000 right now for garlic. So I don't think that's. See, I actually tapped that machine too soon. Yeah. I tapped it too soon. That's what I did. I tapped it too soon. So, yeah, and that's what. I haven't touched these ones, though, I don't think, today. Nope. This is the loom. The loom. I haven't quite figured this out, what the scoop is with the loom, so don't ask me. It takes, for now, at level 53, 280 wool. So I'm not sure about this loom stuff, I won't know until it hits at least level 100. Then I'll know, right? And then this takes this. This is 49. But these do flowers, and that's tinting. So I don't know. Maybe they'll come up with some new buildings. I have no idea. Whoops. I didn't do that. I did splurge a little bit when the new machines come out. I bought 6 because I didn't think it would be that bad. Yeah. See, I don't. It's not that I don't, but sometimes I don't. I really didn't pay attention where my garlic was going to either until I'm like, oh, yeah, now I know, 7. That's nice. That's good, Blaze. We don't want to ask Ace how many tea machines he's got. Oh, gosh. Because Ace had quite a bit of them. You know what I'm saying? I think he did. Well, honestly, I think I only had, well, the exception of that other building, I think I had it down to 2 buildings at the time before they did the major update. I think I had it down to the sweet shop and the other one, the art shop. Those are the only 2 I didn't do. And I kind of didn't feel the need to now. Oh, and it's probably too late to say it, but Franny, do you have the ticket trader down? Just out of curiosity. Oh, wait. Oh God, she has the ticket machine. Do you use that ticket machine? Cause see, I don't. If you look, my ticket machine is still at level 1. Good. See. Yeah. See, aside from these are the only 2 shops I believe. Yeah, because they're low. The art gallery and the candy shop, I really didn't pay much attention to as far as when we should have, could have, and would have leveled them up. I just was taking my time at it. And the Smitty, the same thing. I think those were the 3 shops. So there was that. But then it's like anything else. The price is gonna go up. Ace, I think they changed the prices. I really think they did. I wonder, I didn't look yet. Well, I got some of them kind of close to 250. Sort of. Maybe. I think they went down on the prices, Ace. Because mushroom. 69 million. Wait a second. Because yesterday, hold on a minute. The grocery store yesterday was over $1 billion, whereas the bakery was the bakery was roughly, I think. So I think they lowered the prices of the shops. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm looking at it because I remember yesterday those prices were not as low as they are right now. Oh, I should hurry up and get them done, huh? Oh, the event shack. Oh, let's go to the event shack. I like that. I like that shop. Oh, so is that where I got that money from? Nice. I like donations. I like when the let's see, 44. Upgrade. What did you say, 250? 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. You know, okay, now I see it. 230? Well, that ain't too bad, 230. Yeah, but I can bet you right now that the warehouse wants my stupid mushrooms. Oh, come on. I need 6,000. That is just so. Wait a minute. How many do I have? I have 2,863 mushrooms. Oh, I definitely gotta use my whatchamacallit to get more mushrooms. I was gonna actually set up some pigs and put them over at one side. Maybe I'll make a little pig farm instead of a donkey farm. You know, everybody said, "Oh man, she lost it. She's got a pig farm going on." Yeah, I do. Okay, there you go. What does she want? I don't want to touch that money yet. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give it up. 442, right? And he was higher yesterday. Yeah, he's still higher. 648. So he was definitely higher yesterday, so yeah. Oh. What is she? See, they're all wanting these stupid mushrooms. Yeah, I ain't doing that, no. I'm gonna wait. I'll wait until after the event. See what I get then. But the thing I do like most, Fran, is that, see, like, here's my, oh, that's the cheese factory. I'm not going to touch that one. But what I do like is the fact that these are quick, the jam factories. But and I have, what, 6 of them? I might go as far as 8. I don't know. But the thing but see, if you have enough trees to generate what you need, I'd say do that too. But you only have 2 workers. Hold on a second. She can do 2 workers, right? Oh, hold on a minute. I have an idea. You could. Wait a minute. See, this is the beauty of when you make my brain think. No, just kidding. Okay. I will show you a little something, and you have 2 workers, correct? Okay, so here's what you do. You've got 24 by 24. Here's my little worker guy. Okay, I'm just going to show you an example of what a 24 by 24 can do for your trees. Okay, so this is my first worker, let's say, right? And then this is my second worker up here. So here's what I did. Because let's say you only have the 2 workers, right? So what you do is, oh, this is going to be easy. Yeah. Okay. Here's what you can do with your 2 workers, especially whereas, you obviously need a lot of apples and mostly pears and things. So here's what you do. It doesn't matter which end you start at, but just like say hypothetically, you have, your 1 worker up there, which he's up over here. Isn't he up over here somewhere? No, he's down there. See, I did it backwards, but it doesn't matter. So what you're going to do is, let me just show you. I'm giving you an example of like, these are my clove trees, right? Okay. And not to get you lost and confused in all of this, but here's what you do. Let's just say you do apples instead of, don't ignore the clove trees. Okay, so this guy here, he's got his little thing going on, but this guy right here, is he doing 286? Because I don't want to screw you up. Hold on a minute. Oh, I got to get off of that, don't I? Here's my idea. Wait a minute. I got it. Clove. Is it 286? Yes, sir, it is. All right. Here's what I did. Okay, so you have your worker here, right? Let's say this is worker number 1. Okay, so here you have your clove trees, right? And I only, like I said, I only have 286 because we're excluding this guy, Spot. So what you do is you go all the way down, you know, with your clove trees, apple trees, let's just say apple trees, okay? And you get to here. Again, okay, this guy is going to start off your second set of clove trees or apples, okay? I know I'm saying, you know, clove, okay? But let's just pretend these are apples, but I want to show you the, okay? So it's running down here, and then you go over here, and guess what's over here again? Clove trees. So what you could do is, for where you saw that your first worker, okay, you start doing your apples right there, and then when you know where that boundary line is, do I have 2 workers extra here somewhere? Yes, I do. I've got rules of. Where can I do it? Oh, I can't do it here. I can do it somewhere else. Let me show you something. No, get out of that. I can go to farm 2, hopefully. See, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I know you don't see apple trees. Yes, but see, here's the beauty of putting the apple trees down. Let me show you something. I'm going to get over here in the wide open space. Yeah. Okay, so, okay, and I don't want to put Juan the worker over in East Overshoe over there. I don't want you to get confused on what he's, okay. We got Don Juan the worker here, right? Do I have 2 workers? See, I utilize as much as I can. Perfect. So I'm going to use Don Juan the worker here, okay? So Don Juan the worker here is going to be put here for the moment. Okay, Don Juan the worker is 24 by 24. And we're going to do a corner. You say, corner, why? Watch this. So now that we know that he's 24 by 24, right? I'm going to get him out of the way of them stupid things, just so you know what I'm talking about here. Okay. Oops. So, no, I can do it this way. So Don Juan the worker, that's right here, okay? And then we're going to go all the way down to the end of where Don, and if you get kind of lost, the best way to do it is take a little piece of wood like this, put it right there, because then you know the second Don Juan the worker is going to go right there. Okay? I don't know. I didn't ask. I just know his name is Don Juan the worker. But anyways, here we go. We're gonna get Don Juan the other worker. Okay, and we want, wherever I put that little piece of stick, there it is. We're gonna put Don Juan the second over here. Okay. Now notice, don't worry about it because you're not going to get screwed up. Because what we're going to do is we're going to do 24 by 24, correct? I'm going to put him in the corner. Okay, so now it's 24 by 24 in the corner, right?
5 o'clock.
Oops, get out of there. Get out. Gosh. Okay, so now I'm going to turn him around. Take this piece of wood out because you don't need it. Okay, now, we've got the two Don Juans up here, right? So all you're going to simply do is you're going to go up here, okay, and we're going to do not just apples, we're going to do pears and you some lemons, right? So what you do is you go down here, obviously, to your apples. Oops, where's my apples again? Okay, we got your apples here, right? And this is exactly how you're going to do it. You're going to do one here, one here. Okay? Don Juan, the worker. I know. Okay, so now you got Don Juan, the worker, and here's the thing. You take, you see the apple trees? Okay, go all the way down to the far end, you know, and you're going to have 286 of those. See, there's the beauty. So now we're going to do, okay, let's say you do have the golden apples, right? So if you have the golden apples, 1, 2. And what you do again is you take them all the way down to the end. Okay? Because when you do that with your apples, you're going to have 286. When you do that with the golden apples, again, you're going to have 286. Okay? Now, we're going to go to the next row, and I think we'll only have enough room. Oh, you might. We'll see. We'll see how far I get with this. But, you see what I'm getting at, Franny? So, I mean, I like I said, I think you're doing okay. So now here we go with your pear tree, for example, because you're going to need pears. See, you're all set with your apples. You're good to go. So now we're going to do our pears, right? 1 and 2. Okay? You're going to do your pears just like that. So now we're getting to the end, and guess what else you have room for? And with 2 workers, by the way, just saying. I hurt my brain trying to figure this out. No, just kidding. Okay, now here you go. You've got a lemon. Okay, now here, bear this in mind. Even though we know the lemon is 2 seasons, right? If you have the tangerine tree, boom. That's what you do. If, let's say, hypothetically, you know, with your, no, that's your lemon. Okay. So let's say you got, you know, 2 sets of pear trees here, correct? So what you do is you go over here, you take these out. All right? And then what you do is, instead of just using the pear tree, okay, go over here, and I would go the inexpensive way if you don't have a lot of gold. And because the only element that's missing is your winter, right? So you go over here, and you could do your plum, you can do your quince, but the thing is, your quince, they're both the same season. The only difference is price, right? So you do that, and it's simple. See, let's say, for example, you don't want to put put these apples, you don't want to put the apple, these type of apples, the golden ones, so don't put them down. Put a different type of apple. Because you already have 286 of these apples down. But this guy, and just like I said, you go all the way straight down, just like this. Now I know, because I screwed up a couple of times when I was doing this, probably because it was late at night. But you see what I'm saying? You're going to have all of that pathway for your apples, all the way down. You'll have 286 of the apples, 286 of everything that you put down there. Oh, yes, they can. If you have the DLC ones, absolutely. See, I mean, your DLCs, if you wanted to go that route, you can do the Chrome ones, which is 4 seasons. And this one here is one season, and this one here is another season. If you wanted to, you should just go and check to see, like if I were you, go and check to see if you can get 2 more farmhands. Okay? Because if you can get 2 more farmhands, then absolutely, because if you look over here, that's how I got it set up. Yeah, the only thing they won't do an event item. They won't, yeah. Because as long as it's not an event thingy, they'll collect, like whatever comes off the trees or whatever, yeah. But seriously, this is exactly what I would do. Because again, you're going to have this little area, this area here with your 2 workers, and the only 3 things that they'll be working on are those 3 items. And trust you me, you will see those 3 items filling up, depending on your inventory. So in that sense, you may have to buy a second jam stall and a second juice one for the lemons, only because you're right now, if you have it set up like this, you're gonna have just these 2 workers working on all that fruit trees. Yeah. The only time that they'll do the trees, for example, if I have one set up, I do have it on my, nope, I have them over there. The only time, isn't that an event tree? I have to double check this one. Like for example, these are all my event animals right here. So the thing about that is if you have workers on them, as long as it's not an event that's going on, if there's no event for these animals, then they will harvest them for you and pick up the items that they have. But if it's an event that's going on, like if zebras are coming up next, so they won't. But I'm trying to, okay, I think it's back here. What do I got? See, that's why my berries are always full. What do I got over here that they're doing? Ah, the money trees. I forget. See, these are the money trees right here. Now, if it were an event, and they were considered, like the event trees, you're not going to get anything from them. But, I don't care. But see, at least you get the gist of, how to do that. And again, if you get lost and confused and you want to know how to do this, I'd be more than happy to show you. Or, just watch the video again. But it's really simple, because don't panic and say, oh, I'm running out. But oh yeah, I have the cyber trees right up in this one. Yes, I do. Okay, so I have the cyber trees all set up right here for my guys, right there. Yeah. So, and I think what I did was, because there's only, okay, see, this is what I did, and I have to fix it again. This is my apples. This is the golden apple, right? Okay, so, and the same rule would apply, except if you're just doing all apples, then, but if you do the cyber ones, then yeah, just put an apple and a cyber right here. At least you'll get that started. And then still do the pear and the lemon. But, but the only thing that you have to think about is, which one complements the other. So that way you're not sitting there waiting forever. Obviously, he's going to do the apples, and he will do the pears, but at least you got them up. You've got the pear tree and a plum, pear and plum, but the other one's more expensive, like I said. So you have pear and plum, And then you have your lemon and your tangerine. The tangerine is a tad bit slower to like level it up, but you know what? I didn't care because I had workers on it. So you should do quite well doing it that way, and it will help you a lot, you know, to get that going. Yeah, because I'm not kidding you. Every day, my my fruits and everything get full every single day. And I'll tell you right now, when I do the event, they'll get full anyways because you know they just will. And my fish do the same thing. They get filled, and it's like I don't have to do anything. So you know, it's and I have seen people say it so, but at least for me, I have a constant flow of diamonds and I have a constant flow of ribbons. You know, that at least for me on my farm, the way I have it set up. Because when you get into the bigger farms, and they obviously will have a lot more money than me and a lot more diamonds and a lot more ribbons, it's because they have their farm set up on a bigger scale compared to mine. So there's that. The herbs really kicked me in the butt. They really did. Oh God. But you know, if I could redo, which I'm not going to, but if I had to redo my spice, I would have probably stayed with like maybe 250 at the most, instead of the 535. But you know, I kind of figured, well, let's just do it and get it over with because I gotta do it, so I did it, and I went broke, absolutely broke. Because I had quite a bit of gold, and then I didn't. I didn't. It was just really horrible putting up things down. Well, you know what, Franny? I don't care about the penalties either because you know why? My fish, just like these guys down here, okay? I know Ace brought up a point about, you know, other fish, but here's the thing. I'm not concerned about the penalties. I'm really not. Because as you can see here, my anglerfish, where is he? Murray. I love that name. Murray. Okay. Oh, I can't use that as an example. That's a bad example. 150, 300. Oh, because I have extra ones over there. Okay. So I try to keep this down to like 130. Or, well, for me, it's in increments of 2. So even if you went 140, that's good too. And I have this one guy, one worker, doing all of these fish. These are the newer fish, by the way. But I have this one worker doing all the fish. And he does, you know, the canneries over here. It'll keep him busy for a little while. Oh, he's getting those fish canneries filled up. Or maybe, no, he is. He's getting them filled up. So the beauty of this is, and I did keep the newer fish separate from the older fish, but he's doing a really good job. I don't need to have a bazillion fish. And again, Ace had said that there was some person that had theirs set up like with 36, but you get some, I don't know if he said it was XP or whatever, and that's fine because it's within that limit, that range of, you know, the 36. I just have it here because I only want these fish for one thing. They're gonna do my canneries. That's what they're gonna do. And again, if you use your boost, you know, to get these, because if there's only one, like there's a bunch on my other farm, so I do them manually. So you're gonna get more. So you kind of look at it this way: do you want to get a little bit of XP for 36 fish in a pond? Or do you want to get a lot of XP with, product and all of that because you get to turn it in? See, you got to weigh the pros and cons. You see, I mean, kind of sort of like this. When you think about it, when you go to a farm and they have fish, right? Have you ever checked out to see how much favor you get and how much XP you get? Because you hardly get nothing. So, in that sense, I place him down just like this. Put the worker there. He does his thing because he's generating me more. Yeah. And see that well, I think it was when I got to oops. I think it was when I got down to like oof. See, I'm excluding these. I'm not counting those. I remember when we got down to like the snappers and the koi fish. Those were really took forever and a day. They did. What's kind of shocking is the price of these anglerfish. I mean, and there is that one little dinky fish that's 100,000. I'm like, are you serious? Where is it? 25. Did they lower the price? Oh no, they did not. The copper axolotl. The copper axolotl. 100,000. And I just put them, put down 150. Yeah. But if you're trying to do your newer fish, for example, the new ones that we got, what I would recommend if you can get away with it. I don't know how many you got down, but what I would do is I would put like put an extra row and an extra row. And even, well, see, now you don't have the amount of workers to do that. But that's what I did. Like, depending on how many you put down, and I think I put less than 200 down for my fish until I got it. Yeah. But some of the farms that I have gone in to set up, I basically try to do it in a simple way for them. Um, like with the fish and the crops and the animals. I try to put a reasonably good amount of animals and things like that just to kind of get you going. And again, see, I think when I said, wait a minute, now they're 24 by 24. These guys can do a lot more work and get all my trees done. See? And you don't have to worry about it. Mr. Cool as a cucumber, because, he has this whole entire area. And if this whole area was filled with all those different trees, he'd be a busy little bee. So, having that type of setup for your trees, and I say this on a smaller scale, it does help. I mean, it really does. Because I think, well, yeah, at the time I used to have like 400 trees of like apples, 400 trees of pit. And, it was just, and at the time we had, 18 by 18? So that made it a slight bit more difficult to set them up. But at least I set them up. And see, now, since they're 24 by 24, to me, it's a blessing. It's easy peasy to do that. It really is. But I like that. I like that idea that I can, just put them down, not worry about my trees, not worry about my fish, just my crops. That's it. And again, it's going to take some time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but you definitely will see your farm starting to generate more and more and more, you know. And the best suggestion to make is, you know, just have a little patience, and it will grow. It definitely will grow. There's no question about that. Your farm will grow, and you'll see it, you know. But it's all in how you set it up, and you know the beauty of it is if you have just 2 workers, look what your 2 workers can do now. You know, they can do those trees that you need for your machines that you currently have. So that's the beauty of that. But just try to save and see how much you can get. Seriously, I would honestly see if you can get 2 more workers, because if you had 2 more workers and you have those if you have those 2 trees, the cassia and the Ceylon tree, the spice trees, let me tell you something, you're going to be cooking. Because, you know, once you have that down, you know, with the cassia and the other tree for the spice, you're going to be getting a lot of spice in, which means don't go to the apothecary, go to the restaurant guy, because that's where you get your ribbons from, you know. I mean, I made the dumb mistake of going, oh, you know what, I'm going to do the grapes. Mistake. I actually went back from my grapes right back to my spice, because I generated more ribbons doing that than I did anything else. Who knows? Maybe Frinny will be one of those big farms, you know what I'm saying? Okay, Mr. Pig, what are you doing? What are you doing? You gotta get back in your pen. Never mind pretending you're drowning, because you know what I'm saying? Ah. Franny, you'll catch up, but just take your time and don't get overwhelmed with the game. Because there is lots to do, and there are different ways to play. It just depends on what your goals are. I mean, you know, where you want to be. And I know, even through my own experience, you know, some people want one of those big, giant super farms. The only drawback about having one of those big, giant super farms is if you don't have the resources, or if you don't have the animals or anything like that, you know. I know I can see it now. We created a beast. But you know what? That's something to be proud of. It really is, you know. I'd be proud of that. Be going, oh man, look at her go. Ah. And if you ever catch Madame Flutterby on, she's another one. She's really super duper. I love her. She's great. She does some really awesome videos too. She does, and she does it, you know, ever so carefully, and she does take her time at it. And she has more videos, I think, than me, but she does a really good job, and I'm so, you know, I'm so proud to have her be a member of ours. She's really good. No, I'm not feeding you guys. Go away. I just want the. Okay, this is the rabbit. Yeah. Okay. No, don't. Honestly, Ace, and if Maya was here, they would tell you. They were the ones that really helped me through an awful lot over 2 years ago. And you're right, I did. I felt slow. I'm like, you know, I mean, I went to my first big farm that I went to at the time was Lord Base's farm, and then another big farm, and I'm like, dang, you know. But I knew with the help that I got from my friends that I would get there, you know. And I know that you will get there too. It's just a matter of being a little patient, and and you'll get there. I mean, there's no question about it. You will definitely get there. Um, because it's just a matter of, it's like you'll set your farm up one way, and then when and then you might change your mind and say, you know what, I'm going to recycle and do it a different way. You have no idea how many times I recycled my farm, but it was for the better and for the improvement of doing different things on my farm as well. Just so you know. Oh gosh, that's you, BC. You just kicked them to the curb. You don't even give them an eviction notice. You just kick them out. Say, get out. You probably go there with hand grenades and AK-47s. I haven't fed these guys in a while. I probably should have. I honestly think that, I mean, come on. It looks like they're like roadkill when they go to sleep. It's like they fall down and they fall down like it's roadkill. Yeah, no, I do what I can, and if I can help others, I'll definitely do my best. For me, anyway. See, I learned about the flower thing back in Farm Together 1, because obviously the same rule applied from there to here, which made sense. And I can't even remember the name of that flower. God, it was a 7-day flower. Can you imagine? 7 days you had to wait for a flower rather than 2.5 days. 7 whole days. Good heavens. I am so thankful they didn't put up 7-day flowers. People would be pulling their hair out of their head. Because I get it. It's like they want, well, can we bring this back? Can we bring that back? Yeah, how about if we bring those flowers back that you had to wait for 7 days? Ah! They wouldn't like that at all. Like, no, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm happy with what they put out here for just Farm Together too. They made it different. I like that. But I absolutely do enjoy my game. I do. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Did you see that? I was dead smack in the middle, and did I ever get that ticket? Boom. Do you see what I'm saying? It fell right in front of me, yet when it landed, like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. You're going to have to turn around and go back and get it. I don't like that. But you get what I'm saying, though, is right? You're seeing that ticket action, and you would think, but no, it says, no, we're going to make you stop and go back and get it. Yeah, okay. If I could delete that thing, I would. I'd be the first to delete that bad boy. I don't need that thing on my farm. How many tickets do I got now? Oh my gosh, I got a whopping 181 tickets. Wow. I think I used that ticket thing like maybe once or twice at the most because I couldn't figure out how to use it. And then when I finally did, when someone clarified how to use it, I still don't. It's of no use to me. I mean, worst case scenario, if I really wanted to, I would just go to the favor guy and use my favor to buy it. That's what I would do. And that's how people get a lot of, well, I don't know about now because I haven't done it in a long time. But then there's that other machine, and I asked a friend of mine, I said, how did you get so many diamonds? Well, you go to that machine and use your gold. Yeah. Well, that would be nice. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again where I have to say prayers to my Father God because, he sometimes says, are you ignoring me? I'm like, no, I'm explaining how to do the trees. Give me a minute. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say my prayers for those that need them and for those that don't. Because you know that you are loved and you need prayer no matter what. No matter what's going on in your life, you definitely need it. And I want to put a big shout out and prayers for those that are caretakers that do take care of others, whether they be loved ones or your friends or family, or if you're in a facility where you're taking care of somebody. Because what I know you do is you put your heart in your sleeve and, but you take care of them. And it could be like a long day, and then there might be a day you're going to go into work or wherever and they're gone. But you know what? You did your best, and, we thank you for that. And we put our prayers for you guys to just, keep holding on and plugging away. And I'm not saying first responders are bad or useless, but they do a good job too. But they do a different type of job. See, there you go. See, it's nice, Franny, and I'm sure for you emotionally, it does take its toll, and you need a break sometimes, but you're taking care of your brother, which I remember taking care of my brother too, and it's a tough job to do, I mean, it's kind of like, you have to go in there and suck it up and do what you need to do and get it done, and, it is what it is, and so, yeah, I praise people like that because they deserve it, because there's not enough being said about caretakers or even those that are ones in hospice, because when you're working in that field and you're taking care of people, it can really, not just physically, but emotionally, it can take its toll. When you get the police and the fire and EMTs, you know what? They put the fire out. They arrest people. They protect and supposed to serve. And that's cool. With EMTs, it's like they fix you up really quick just to get you back to the hospital, and then they drop you off and see you later. Have a nice day. But it's not saying that they do it without heart. They do it because that's their job, and they do the best they can. Yeah, CPC, that is so lovely that you do that. And that you're appreciated. And the Lord appreciates that. So, but, I honestly believe, though, that people that are caretakers, they need that special prayer. They need to know that there are people out there that appreciate and care about what you do when it comes to taking care of other people. And the Lord sees that. You all should know that. He sees that. And, there's going to be moments where, that person might have their good days or their bad days, but the thing is, you do a good job, I know for me, like when I helped my brother, it was probably more emotionally, than physical, because you just do what you got to do. But then there's that emotional part, and sometimes it's very hard to just kind of like let those feelings go, because especially if it's something that you're constantly around, where does it go? So, that prayer is meant to be lifting that up off of your shoulders. And the Lord Father, He comes down and He gives you a little more peace in your heart and in your soul, because it can take its toll. It really can. I've been through it so many times, and it's almost like saying I'm a glutton for punishment. I'll go back and do it again. I'll go back and do it again. Yeah, yeah. Because even during COVID, right? Did anybody ever mention about the caretakers there? Because I'm very sure that those people that had COVID and that went home needed somebody to help take care of them. I'm sure of it. So it's, to me, I think they kind of forget that part and they exclude that part. I know that when I had with my brother, I had hospice in there, and they came to see my brother. They came to help, and everything else. They were great people, and they were really, really, really good around my brother, and I really appreciated that. So, there was that, and it's just like with Larry, the same thing. I took care of Larry right up to the very last breath that he had, and I do know that the nurse, she was very nice. She would be there every day to help me with Larry before he passed. And, it was like when we were taking care of him, and, I made sure that he was never in pain. And sometimes he'd whimper or something a little bit, a little, but she was really good. She was really good. And I appreciated her being there. And I really appreciated her support for being there. I really did. Yeah. But I'm going to step away for a few minutes, and I'm going to go grab me my coffee because my coffee cup is empty. But I want everyone to know and always remember that, we put prayers out there for everybody every single day, whether you need them or not. And that what you do, helping others is appreciative. And our Heavenly Father knows that. And believe you me, He knows. And I believe in the power of prayer, guys. Just so you know, because I do my power of prayer every day. Okay, I'm back. $81. God bless her. By the way, Franny, I'm going to test you next week on everything I showed you. Ooh. Right, Ace? Oh, that sounds like Larry. Larry had a very young spirit in his soul. He did. He really did. You know, it's really too bad you guys never got a chance to hear him talk and stuff like that, because I know you guys would like him. Because one of the things that Larry used to do all the time, especially if I was playing on my Xbox and then voice chat, he would always say hello to everybody. But yeah, he was really, really nice. If we were playing Farm together, he'd go, "Oh, you're at that again?" Yeah, I am. I think that was like the only game when I was playing Farm together. If I had to get up to go get a drink or something like that, he'd pick up my controller and he'd start playing it. And he'd be like, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" I said, "I don't know, just drive around." He used to do silly things like that. He did. So what farm am I on? Farm 2. I hope you like that idea though with the trees there, friend. I really do. I think that'll work out for you. And again, if you're lucky to get 2 more workers, I don't know how much they would cost you. I wish they gave us more. But I think when you get the workers, don't you pay ribbons for them? Ooh. Okay, so that's great because back where I am over here, okay, and basically the same rule applies, because like here, like it's like this here. Once you have this guy open, let's just say this is your new guy, and ignore the apples. But what you can do is, and this is where it might get a little pricey, but don't worry about it because you'll make it up. Trust you me. If even if you do half and half, it doesn't matter. But these squares total 575. So even if you put down half and half of cassia and the other tree, you'll be fine. Yep. Yes, you have to just go in there and yeah, yeah. See, you just like basically walk up to here. I can't upgrade them anymore. I can just pay them. That's it. Imagine that. They just want my money. See, you can get up to 25, but like I said, I think it's just you pay them in ribbons. That's it. And but it's really worth it. But like I said, even if you only can afford to do one, okay, I'd be more than happy to open it up for you to get your extra farm here if you need to get 2, because basically, if you had the 2, you could have the 2 of them doing your spice trees, and you'd be golden. You would be golden. See, and that's where your farm starts to like it grows. That's where you'll see it growing. And again, if even if it's, I guess, let me see something here. It sort of really doesn't matter. Just check this out for a moment. I mean, even if you don't want to, even if you don't have to think for the letters, just bear in mind that every one of these, including your peppers, every single one of these will always give you diamonds. Okay? Every single one of these will give you diamonds. Wow. Wow, PC. Wow. Wow. God bless you, PC. Wow. But but Franny, that's basically what you need to do is just kind of like check out where you need the diamonds and where you need these. You know, and again, like I said, if you need help setting it up a little, on your farm a little bit, don't worry about it. One of us can help you. Doesn't matter. Oh, it was definitely a different world back in the day. Yes, I understand that, PC. I do. I'm not that old, not that young, not that old, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, definitely was. People were very different back in those days. Absolutely. Compared to, well, even in my younger days, I think, people were different even compared to today. Yeah. Wow. Well, I remember as a kid going down to the store with $1. And I remember going down there, getting a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread, and come home and have change. So I do remember that. You ain't gonna see that ever again. I would never give that a thought, ever. I'm responding to a text message, by the way, guys, in case you're wondering why did I say that. I didn't have a car to drive, and I was too young to drive, so 50 cents. Oh my God. Wow. Well, I need to get running and going. Somebody is here to see me. So, guys, I want to say God bless. I really had a wonderful day with yous, and I hope you guys had a wonderful day with me. And my lurkers, I hope you had a wonderful day, and I still hope you continue to have your wonderful day. And Franny, I had a wonderful time. And again, if you need help, let us know. Get those apples put out there. Get them done. So with that, I want to say God bless you all, and you have a wonderful day. And again, thank you for being here. And I love my lurkers no matter what. Well, maybe no. Yeah, I'm just kidding. So you all take care and have a blessed day. Take care. I love you guys. Take care.